Well, ABC Amber TV News just got an information that the Colonial Republic of Cameroon's Parliament has approved a higher education reform bill aimed at modernizing and improving the quality of university education. And significantly, it will officially recognize the two subsystems of public university education in the country. One, the English language, and two, French. Coming too late, 62 years after a failed union, when Ambazonia is gone and gone for good. Well, according to the Colonial Yaoundé officials, two key reforms the new legislation envisages, which includes the strengthening of the economy autonomy of universities and addressing the challenge of having a public system in which 9 institutions are francophone and two anglophone. The higher education system used this far was developed since 2001. After 22 years, things have evolved in the university programs.
Now, that is why we had to introduce some innovations. There was also a need to address the concerns of the English subsystem of education, said Wilfred Gapsa Nyogbet, Secretary General in the Ministry of Higher Education. The 2001 Higher Education Law and the 1998 law to lay down guidelines on education in La Republic, which covers early childhood, primary, secondary, technical, and teacher training education, existed, he said, after the bill was defended in the Colonial La Republic's Parliament on June 16th.
Recognizing two subsystems, Article 4, Subsection 3 of the 2003 Higher Education legislation now provides that the state shall ordain and organize the system of higher education by taking into account the specificities of the two education subsystems, Anglo-Saxon and Francophone, as a contributing ingredient to the influence and performance of the higher education system. Each subsystem, according to the lawmakers, is characterized by a body of specific and cohesive principles, which reflects its historical, cultural, and philosophical peculiarities.
Now, according to Professor Simo Bobda of the University of Yaoundé, there has been no recognition of the existence of two education subsystems in higher education, that is, universities in Cameroon prior to the bill. By contrast, as far back as 1998, the law that governs the other tiers of education, the primary, secondary, teacher training, had already explicitly recognized that Cameroon had two education subsystems, each preserving specificities in its certification and assessment methods, as well as in pedagogic approaches, he explained. Prior to the June 2023 bill, the only text which recognized the existence of subsystems in higher education were the decrees establishing the universities of Boya and of Bamenda, that's in 1993 and 2010 respectively, which chartered them as universities in the Anglo-Saxon tradition.
Language division contributes to conflicts. Only on the basis of this provision was it obtained that English would constitute the language of instruction in both universities. For all substantive programs other than French language, he said that injustice and discrimination, especially in the higher education sector, has proved a flashpoint in the ongoing Amazonian War of Independence. This discrimination has been one of the causes of the current armed conflict, which started off in the education and legal sectors before spiraling into political demand strikes and armed activities in 2016. Now, this is what Bode said. The southern Cameroon's Ambazonian conflict, running for its seventh year, is a source of turmoil with armed groups and government forces in continuous battles.
Now, he added that the fact that the recognition of the two systems and the recognition of common law as the legal system in Amazonia built up resentment amongst Anglo-Saxon higher education lecturers, leading to a public protest in 2017. He said, "We had to go to the streets in protest, especially after the union got information of plans to harmonize the two curricula of all state universities in Cameroon. The reason the government advanced was to enhance student mobility between universities," he said. The lecturers' union at the universities of Boya and Bamenda objected on grounds that harmonizing their programs directly with the other French-speaking universities would dilute their Anglo-Saxon specificities, especially since the templates for harmonization used were strongly inspired by the French dominant universities. This was said by Boda.
Well, according to him, he continues to say after a hard struggle, they obtained a resolution to allow the universities of Boya and Bamenda to harmonize their programs between themselves, and future universities in the Anglo Saxon tradition could harmonize their program within them. He goes on to say, we are happy the new law now comes to lay to the rest the long existent discrimination. Now, let's talk about protection of both subsystems. Experts say the new law will protect the Anglo Saxon system of education from abuse, just as the reforms that recognize the common law did in the legal system. He says before the crisis, there had cases of French speaking lecturers sent to teach in the two English speaking universities. French speaking magistrates who would not express themselves in English were sent to work in the southern Cameroons with challenges in communication. How were they supposed to survive?
Now, the new law will protect each of the systems and prevent any unwarranted invasion or dominance of one language over the other. Dr. Livinus Esambi Njuma, a lecturer and a member of the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative Cameroon, told the University World News. Another key innovation in the June 2023 higher education reforms is the creation of entrepreneurial universities. The new law permits universities to create and run their own businesses. The government cannot do it all alone with the surge in university population and employment challenges. They go on to explain why it is important now.
Well, building on entrepreneurial spirit in our universities provides opportunities for additional sources of income for them. Well, the Colonial La Republic of Cameroon Minister of Education, Jacques Fim Ndogo, explained after defending the bill in Parliament. Fame Ndogo said innovation in higher education is a continuous process that must reflect the realities of every country. He says higher education reforms are the key to quality growth. He says we are permanently in this process, moving at a pace that reflects the realities of the country.